There was a time, like back in I want to say like my early 20s. I might have been 19, but I worked at the nursing home like straight out of high school. So I like back then was like deep into Christianity. Well, I was trying to be, right? I wasn't all the way there, but I had open space for it, right? So then at this time, I'm working at the nursing home. So I was taking care of this resident. Me and her ended up becoming, very close because I worked on the hall every day, got, really acquainted with her, whatever. So it was getting close for her to transition. And I've never, this was like my first experience with this. So, like when she was getting ready to transition, she started talking to her family members, right? So, like, she was sick and whatever, but when she saw her family members, it was her mom and her dad. And she was so happy. And like her eyes lit up like a little kid. And she was just so happy. Like, my parents is here. My parents are here to get me. And I'm looking, and at first, I didn't see anybody there. And I'm just looking at her. So I'm just thinking, like, maybe, Alzheimer's or dementia, maybe she needs to move on another hall, with the other patients, so she can get better care. Like, maybe this is like the start of this. So I'm just like, charting on my notes or what have you. And then the one day, she asked me, she was like, look, can you see them? Can you see them? They're standing right there. They're right there. So I'm just expecting, to see nothing and then, just playing into her delusions, right? So I look over and I kid you not, I see two people there, a man and a woman. And they're like holding hands, like just like this together. And they're smiling at her and she's smiling at them. And I'm looking like, like what the world, like what is happening like right now, like I'm really seeing this. And then at this time, like in Christianity, they're like, anything spiritual is evil. So I'm thinking like these are demons coming to get this lady. So I didn't want to ruin her time because she was just having her a good time, she was happy, so I didn't want to take away her happiness. So I went in the bathroom and I started praying for her, like God just bless her mind and, things like that. But every day I would see her parents and they stay with her like all day, all night. And then like her daughter would come and visit and, she would just be breaking down like, my mom just, she's not the same. So I'm, trying to be there for the daughter too. And at the same time, like I'm still trying to process what's going on. And I don't want to tell the daughter like I possibly see your grandparents, but like I ain't want to get into all that with her. So, I'm just there for her, just counseling her, just, just trying to be a friend and a comfort for her. So, when the day came, she asked me if I can get her pretty because she wanted to look pretty when she go meet the rest of her family. So, I did her hair, washed her up, put her on some pretty clothes. And then I asked her, like, what did she want to eat? And she wanted this really big meal. And she usually she was bedridden too, so she wasn't getting out of bed. She used to, but then like one day she just stopped. She didn't want to get up no more, and then she just stopped. So she became like a bedside feeder person, like we feed by the bedside. So then she was like she wanted to go to the cafeteria this day, and she was like, could you ask the people in the cafeteria? She was just like had this big menu, and she even wanted coffee. And I was like, coffee? I'm like, okay girl, like I got you, like okay, da da da. So then she was just like she didn't want to be put in her chair yet, but she's like, just put her chair on the side of the bed and then just come back and get her up once I let the kitchen know what she wanted. So I go down to the kitchen. I'm like, hey, Miss Such and Such says she want this, this, and this, and this. And they said, huh? Are you sure? They was like, she don't really eat and da da da. I said, I promise you, this is what she said. So they was like, okay. Everybody's like, wow, okay. So then get her food ready. I go back to the room, like, just like gonna go tell her. And she had already passed. And I'm just like, huh? And so then, of course, I had to go tell the DON. and like let her know what happened. Like I didn't know like protocol because nobody ever got me to that point yet. I was still brand new here, whatever, brand new CNA, just out of high school. And then she was like, you have to clean her up. So I'm just like, I don't think I can do that. Like, you know, she's gone. And I'm like, and at this time, like, I got like really emotional. I started crying to her, like, please don't make me do this. Like, da da da. She was like, it's a part of the job. And she was like, I'll go in there with you for your first time. But like after that, you're going to have to do it. So then another CNA, he was like, I told him like what happened. And he was like, oh, did you need me to, go get her ready, to get picked up? And I was like, first I said, yeah. And then the DON was like, no, you're gonna have to do this. And I promise you, I cried the whole entire time. I even like I told her like in the middle of it, like I quit. She was like, "Well," I said, I quit. I said, I don't work here no more." She was like, "Jackie, like you can't run away from this. I know it's scary, like da 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 da." And when she walked me through it, but the craziest thing to me was that the resident, like the lady, even though she was gone, I saw her. Still, she was still in that room because at this time her daughter was on the way there too, or whatever, because their family had to be notified. So I could see her standing there by the same spot with her family, but she's hugging them. And then this whole time, I'm just like questioning like everything I thought to be true because I'm like, this doesn't look like anything like that's evil. Like, I didn't get like no type of like, no spidey senses, like nothing crazy. And then I just thought something was like wrong with me. So then I had another resident that passed, and then the same thing. They started like talking to like people on the other side of the veil that came to pick them up. And then I started like noticing a pattern like that's how like someone's getting close. And when they started seeing the family members or whoever that's coming to pick them up, and it's always like that moment of like childlike joy that they have. It's like they're a kid again, just waiting to see their mom, their parents, or just waiting to see their family. And it's just like a bittersweet experience, like just experiencing, because I'm an empath, so like emotions and feelings, like I feel it to the extent. And like, so like that got to me, just like, the thought of somebody just being gone from this world. And before I really understood, like, the in depth of like the spiritual, but it's bittersweet. But I just wanted to share that I experienced. I don't know why I randomly thought about that tonight, but